Welcome to the Pet Loss Companion. I'm Ken Dolan-Del Vecchio. I'm here with my friend and co-author Nancy Saxton-Lopez, and this is a program which we do live generally on Thursdays from 6 p.m. Eastern till about 7:30 p.m. And we're recording this one because Nancy's going to be traveling. So we won't have the opportunity to have comments but you can certainly send us a comment after the fact for watching the recording, or also it'd be great if you could give a thumbs up and any other kinds of affirmation, because that helps people
Emoji.
find the program who may be helped by it. This is a program that we've been doing for a number of years, and it's actually
Yeah,
based on the
2020.
it's based on the book that we wrote a while back called The Pet Loss Companion: Healing Advice from Family Therapists Who Lead Pet Loss Groups. And many times what we do on this program is we read emails that people have sent us. So if you would like to send us an email, we would be happy to share yours, or we would be happy to respond. One or both of us will respond to your email. So you can write to us and share your story of your animal's life, the experience of losing them, how you're doing in the aftermath of their loss. And we will, as I said, one or both will respond. And if you give us permission, we will share it on the program as well. You can support our program in a number of different ways, one of which is to subscribe to the Substack newsletter, where we post correspondence and photographs that people have sent us. And there are a number of other ways. When you look at the description, you'll see how you might give us some support with the work that we're doing. We'd like you to know that this program is a friend of Dakin Humane Society, which is a multi-service resource and adoption program in Springfield, Massachusetts. And one of the resources that they offer is a pet loss support group on Zoom that I facilitate once a month. It is on the second Tuesday of the month, and it runs 6 p.m. Eastern to precisely 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. You can RSVP using the link that's in the description to this program. And we'd like you to know that it's completely free for you, and that people Zoom in from all over the world. So it's a very interesting exchange that happens every time. Really, a lot of support is given and a lot of shared strength. So consider joining us if that would be helpful for you. Also, if you could subscribe to the YouTube program if you haven't already, that would be very helpful. If you can give a thumbs up, if you can leave a comment, all these things make the program more easily accessible to people who may benefit from it. And Nancy, you want to get us started?
Yeah, we are going to read an update of a blog that one of the friends of the program um, has sent us. And Kate LaSala has been on here a few times. She was here
A
recently
couple of
talking
weeks
about
ago.
fostering. And before that, it was behavioral euthanasia. She was an amazing trainer and behaviorist, but she does other things also. And she got to us actually after her BooBoo died. And she's blogged about her death, BooBoo's death, and her life with BooBoo, and how she has gone through the grief journey for the last year. And this is going to be interesting for people because she goes. I love the way Kate puts this out. Right, she has bullet points about what she's learned, what she's grateful for. So we're going to go through that so that people know that there is life through grief, right, and what she has learned and the gratitude she has. So Ken and I are going to share it. So this is the blog after 1 year. It's been a year since BooBoo's passing, and I wanted to share an update. In the days before we said goodbye, a friend asked what I needed. I half joked, more tissues. An hour later, DoorDash showed up with 15 boxes. I laughed, which I hadn't done much. It's memories like this that stick with me a year later, along with the gestures of support, meals, cards, flowers, donation in Boo's honor, personalized gifts like a handmade quilt and a custom vase. I will never forget the messages from clients sharing how Boo had helped them with their dogs just by being a part of my journey. Grief has been a daily tug of war between holding on and moving forward. We've since fostered over a dozen dogs. Doing things with them that I once did with Boo is both healing and heartbreaking. Life is different now, and so am I. Here's what I've learned in this first year of grief. One, helping others helps. My passion for guiding others through loss has deepened, especially in my doula work. That's doula and end of life for animals. Supporting others keeps Boo and Barbo, who is also died, I think, before BooBoo, legacy alive in everything I do. Two, I'm more guarded. Not everyone is comfortable with grief. Loss clarifies who I can trust with my time, energy, and vulnerability. Time is precious, and grief makes that crystal clear. Three, find support. Grief is lonely. I found great comfort in the Dakin Humane Society support group, thank you, Ken, and in my grief counselor, Angela. Even as a doula, I needed help, and there's no shame in that. Four, fostering heals. Returning to fostering helped honor Boo and reconnect me with joy. It let me explore what I needed in a future dog and gave other dogs a chance to heal too. Five, memorializing matters. Photos, videos, and my daily one cremation ring help me remember, process, and stay connected. Find what works for you. Six, feel it all. You can't outrun grief. Let yourself feel the sadness, anger, guilt, and confusion. It's messy, but necessary. And then remember the love. Seven, take time. There's no timeline for grief. I stepped back from work and struggled physically and mentally. The book, The Grieving Brain, helped me understand what was happening to my body and mind. Eight, forgive yourself. The what ifs and regrets are normal, but they stall healing. Be kind to yourself. You did your best with the information you had at hand. And nine, allow happiness. This is still hard. Joy without Boo felt disloyal at first, especially with another dog. But grief and love can coexist. As my counselor said, we carry that relationship and grief with us forever.
About 10 months in, we foster failed with Gertrude Wigglebottom, aka Gertie, for short, our 11th foster since Boo died. She looks nothing like Boo, and yet in temperament and behavior reminds me of both Boo and Barbo. I had quietly created a list of 13 traits I hoped for, and Gertie met them all. She she is not Boo, and she never will replace her, and I may never love her the way I loved Boo, but she is pure joy and exactly the dog we needed in our lives at this time. 4,661 days wasn't enough with Boo. No amount of time would have been. If I had one wish, it would be to find her sooner so I could have loved her longer. But in her absence, I've found deep gratitude for all that we had. I'm grateful for, one, how she made me a better person and changed the course of my life. Two, every morning and bedtime snuggle we shared. It was our quiet time. Three, the peace and quiet force she was in my life. The peace and quieting force
Yeah.
she was in my life. Four, her unconditional love, never judging, never holding a grudge. Five, the way she looked at me, loving and knowing. Six, all she taught me about fearful dogs and how together she went from feral dog to therapy dog. Seven, the memories, photos, videos, and stories that live on. And eight, the simple fact that she was mine to lose. I'd do it all again, even knowing the pain of the ending. Our bond, our love, and our shared impact are still with me in everything I do. For anyone grieving, it does get softer. You've survived every day so far, and you're not alone. There's a community here to support you. Honor your beloved in a way that feels right to you. I truly believe that they'd want you to be happy again. Thank you for creating this community, sharing stories, and Ken for the Dakin Support Group. They have all been instrumental in my grief journey last year. I tried to keep this short so you can share it if you want to, but mostly I wanted to thank you with love and gratitude, Kate. So
It's beautiful, right?
yeah,
It's so succinct,
yep.
and yet you can feel the emotion,
Oh,
right?
sure.
All of the
Yeah,
emotions that she
yeah,
has. I mean, she
yeah,
loved her BooBoo. I mean, she loved Barbo too, but BooBoo was her girl.
yeah.
And and she went on to foster. It was quite a number of fosters
Mm-hmm.
that she and
Mm-hmm.
her husband did uh, provided. And then she got Gertie. I love Wigglebottom. That's very cute.
Yeah, and it's all of these things are all of these points are very instructive
Mm-hmm.
for all of us. And there are a couple that I'd like to mention. One is that I'd like to reinforce even more. Helping others helps.
Yeah.
So giving, even when we're in the depths of pain, giving, providing support, being kind to others
Mm-hmm.
helps us. It's a bit counterintuitive when we feel like we are sort of collapsed into our own
Delete.
pain,
Yeah.
but it's a really important thing to keep in mind. And then another is that you have the right to be guarded. You have the right
Mm-hmm.
to not open up and share with everybody. And I always repeat that this is a particularly important one, I think, for the workplace, to just be very careful about being really vulnerable in a workplace where you're not sure that the people around you, the people to whom the person or people to whom you are accountable in the workplace, understand grief
Right.
and understand the significance of losing an animal companion, because we've heard too many times that that opening this up in the
Mm-hmm.
workplace can hurt a person's career.
Yeah.
And so just really important. And then the thing that I want to stress is that, and we've said this in a number of different episodes of this program, we say it in our book, we say it to people in our groups, and that is that in the end, you're going to find yourself grateful for having had this family member. And
Yeah.
that may be a long way off at the moment, but that's the way this settles ultimately for
Mm-hmm.
most people. For most people.
They give us such gifts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, like Kate went through and said, wow, they help us live in the moment. They help us with patience, right? We are in a society of a lot of almost ADD,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the animals, they don't know anything about social media or any of that, right? So they just are there and absorbed in each moment. And we have to look at them and say, hey, that's good for us also,
Mm-hmm.
right? To
Yeah.
have patience, to be in the moment, to enjoy what we're doing, right?
Yeah. We were in the process, as I've mentioned to you, of we just had our flooring redone on our first floor, most of our first floor. We had the most of the house painted into the interior, and in order to do that, we had to move a
All your
huge
furniture.
amount of things into our living room, and we set up the couch in a way that we could still watch the TV, because for about an hour we watch something on Netflix or
Yeah.
Max or something before we go to bed. And it was funny because we have a regular format in the way we sit. So Tim sits, and then Annie sits, and then I sit, and
And then
then
Hildy.
and then Hildy sits. And what there was a whole bunch of stuff in between Hildy and the TV, and we said to each other, Hildy doesn't really watch the TV. She doesn't care, which she
Yeah, she just
doesn't.
wants to be there.
So it was like this moment of she doesn't, and of course
She
she
don't care.
doesn't. She doesn't
No,
care. She just wants to be next to us.
of course.
So, so that's kind of funny because they're not wrapped up in social media and phones and computers the way we
No,
are.
no, they just want to be, and they just are, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
The
this
other
is
thing I wanted, well, the
yeah,
fostering. Now, fostering, I think, is a wonderful thing, but it is quite a responsibility. So I
yeah.
think, I mean, I'm Kate has done it so many. I mean, it's just amazing, and I admire that ability for her to do that. It's so helpful, and it's so good for these dogs who there's so many of them in shelters, and you foster them, and then they get their forever homes. But it's not for everyone. I mean,
No, no,
obviously.
absolutely not. And that's something really to keep in mind, that that may not sound like something that would be helpful for you. However, also if you just want some contact with animals, you can go to some shelters
Mm-hmm.
and walk their dogs.
Yeah,
You can go to some shelters
be with the
and
cats.
take out their cats,
Mm-hmm.
kind of play with them for a while. So it depends on what suits you, but there's a way generally to be with animals without having to adopt a new one for your own
Mm-hmm.
family. And so keep that in mind. And yeah, fostering is a special thing, and that's the kind of volunteering that I
Yeah.
think you have to go into really thoughtfully.
Yeah. But it again, even going and volunteering, or
Hmm.
maybe pet sitting a friend's,
Yeah.
animal, so that you have that contact and you are not betraying the one who died. Okay. A lot of us feel like, oh my God, I can't go and see another dog or be with another cat because I'm betraying, the one that has passed. But that's not the case. They would want you
Oh,
to
of
take care of
course. They'd
other
want you
animals
to
and
be
other,
happy.
yeah, of course.
So we want to thank Kate for this, and we're always grateful to Kate.
Oh yeah,
She's
she's a
very
great
much
woman.
a friend of our program, and and then Nancy, you're going to be away, so this
Yeah,
one will be out at the time that we would broadcast our next one, which is coming up this
yeah. I'm going up.
Thursday.
I'm going up near you, right,
That's right. You should
Massachusetts.
stop by sometime, as I have come down to New Jersey.
That's right.
Okay. Well, take care. Well, and have a great trip.
Thank you, and take care to everyone.